Hello, and welcome to the Get Well Now podcast series with Andrew Geddard, herbalist and director of the Get Well Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing education and resources for natural and alternative therapies. In today's podcast, Andrew talks about alternatives to Adderall and ADHD drugs, Part 1. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel to see more videos like this each week. And let us know what you think in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.
Did you know that there's a Adderall shortage right now? Yeah, people are really getting desperate because they use Adderall for focusing and also being able to concentrate. Students use Adderall of all ages, and a lot of people now, adults are using Adderall just to help them with their job, focus on the task and concentrate. And now some doctors are probably recommending Adderall for people with long COVID and chronic fatigue syndrome, because with long COVID and chronic fatigue syndrome, there's often brain fog. And although it may not be the best thing for you, Adderall and other amphetamine-like drugs will help you narrow the focus. So the first take-home message is Adderall is an amphetamine. I once had a dinner with an executive at a drug company, and there were some people who aren't involved in medicine there, and she was basically saying, "Oh yeah, I've worked on Ritalin," and I go, "Gosh, that's terrible. That's a terrible amphetamine." And she basically got very offended. And it's true, and turns out that Ritalin is not an amphetamine; it's an amphetamine-like drug. However, Adderall is amphetamines, and so whether it's Adderall, Ritalin, or another ADHD drug, these things are dangerous. They're addicting. They lead to heart disease and premature death. And I will tell you for sure, the long-term safety has not been established. So this is one of my main passions here, right? Is to really educate you that just because a drug is approved, it does not mean it's safe and effective, particularly over the long term. So the fact is there's an Adderall shortage might be a good thing. I'm hoping that people will want to go to alternative doctors, go to acupuncturists, which can stimulate the cognition. They will go to integrative physicians and naturopaths who have nutrients and IV as well as oral techniques that will help give people the ability to focus and have less brain fog naturally without artificial substances or chemicals. So today's topic is going to be alternatives to Adderall and ADHD drugs. So first of all, I want to tell you about a case study I had. So I initially recommended cod liver oil in the clinic. That's because it's available. We knew a lot about it. And also because regular fish oil capsules are very hard to digest. I don't know if you've noticed that. If you've noticed that, would you let me know? I've seen research that says up to half the people, 1/3 to half people cannot tolerate capsules of fish oil. Is that the case for you? Yeah, please let me know. So anyway, I was recommending cod liver oil, which tastes terrible, but at least it wasn't causing digestive problems. And then I became aware of krill oil. And what I liked about krill oil is that it has EPA, DHA, phospholipids, and phospholipids are healthy fats which improve the ability of getting nutrients into the body cells. And then lastly, pure naturally occurring krill has astaxanthin, which is a cognitive enhancing nutrient. So the bottom line is that if you want to use fish oil is great. And I do recommend people with focusing problems, chronic fatigue, long COVID to use fish several times a day for its anti-inflammatory and its brain building effects. Also, you want to consider taking a supplement in pill form, and that could be krill oil because it's readily absorbable. I would make sure that the krill you select has astaxanthin in it because that's so powerfully cognitive enhancing. And then the other thing you might consider is DHA. Now, some people don't like fish oil because it's from an animal, that's fish. And so they can actually grow DHA through microalgae. So I do believe, and most of my colleagues who are naturopaths and holistic physicians believe that fish oil is better because it's naturally occurring rather than separating the DHA out. But if you're a hardcore vegetarian, maybe you try DHA supplements. I like krill again because of its unique composition. But these are very important in overall nutrition and brain health.
So, what do you think so far? Is this information useful to you? Would you like to see more videos like this? Please comment below and let us know what topics you'd like Andrew to talk about. We'd really like to hear from you. Let's return to the podcast.
So the case I wanted to tell you about is a girl. She was in junior high school, and she was diagnosed with having learning disabilities, and she was developmentally disabled. And I'm sorry, I don't know the politically correct way of saying she was in the slow class, right? And the good news, there's two good newses. One is her mom is an acupuncturist, and number two, her mom took her in to see me, the patient who is child in junior high school who is developmentally disabled and had learning disabilities. And I like to talk to kids with learning disabilities because I had learning disabilities myself, and it can be kind of tough. So anyway, we talked to them about adding krill oil. And even though the mom was an acupuncturist, she never did acupuncture on her daughter. So I said, you're an acupuncturist. You should be doing acupuncture every day on your daughter. And if possible, acupressure as well. Teach your daughter, even though she's around 10, how to do acupressure. And you can do this every day. And so she said, gee, I hadn't thought of that. And so anyway, she started treating her daughter with acupuncture every day using points that are said to affect brain chemistry. And then she recommended krill oil, just 2 capsules a day. And after 6 months, that girl's learning disability and developmental disability or brain disability had totally corrected itself. And she was able to, at the start of the school year, go into the normal class. So that's one of the most incredible stories that I've witnessed. But I've witnessed this also with adults that have adult ADHD. And many of them, one is a researcher I used to work with, they do very well just adding, supplementing krill oil every day and then trying to incorporate fatty fish into their diet several times a week. So these are general nutritional strategies, but now I want to get into something really specific. So if you can't get Adderall, this is something to use. But better yet, if you think you need Adderall and can't get it, it would be much better to take phosphatidylserine, also abbreviated as PS, rather than reaching first for an amphetamine because of the dangers. So what is phosphatidylserine? Basically, it's a combination of lipids, phospholipids, and amino acids. And so basically, EPA and DHA work synergistically with the phosphatidylserine to provide the building blocks for healthy membranes. So to really address focus and concentration, you want to take a nutritional standpoint using fish oil, perhaps the Mediterranean diet or another anti-inflammatory diet and then you might consider using a krill oil or another fish oil supplement every day, but then adding phosphatidylserine or PS on an as needed basis, or if you do have Alzheimer's that runs in your family, or you do have been diagnosed with ADHD, you have been diagnosed with ADD, maybe your kids have been diagnosed with these conditions. That's where phosphatidylserine or PS comes in. And so it's been used for a lot of things, including helping with bone matrix, cell repair, heartbeat coordination, hormonal secretion, and even testicular function. So I'm going to kind of gloss over some of the benefits because we don't have a lot of time today, but just know that phosphatidylserine is thought to help people with Alzheimer's disease. It's also aids in the slowdown of age-related cognitive decline. There was a study published in the journal Aging, which evaluated the effects of 6 months of phosphatidylserine on 494 elderly patients with cognitive impairment. And researchers found out that PS produced statistically significant improvements in behavioral and cognitive parameters after 3 months and again after 6 months. So if you do have somebody who has age-related cognitive decline, phosphatidylserine is a very important nutrient to consider, or at the very least discussing with your health professional. Phosphatidylserine also combats depression. And then I want to get into its effect on treating ADHD. Now, if you do have a child with ADHD, again, I want to stress that they have a good pediatrician and somebody who knows about brain health. And again, I'm on like a personal mission. If we can avoid people getting on Adderall and Ritalin and trying these nutritional supplements and herbal formulas, so much more better, because we just don't know the long-term side effects of taking these amphetamine or amphetamine-like drugs. So what does phosphatidylserine does? It improves ADHD. It could also help both kids and adults with ADHD. And they believe that it's so beneficial because it helps regulate cortisol. And so what they have seen on the basis of research is that phosphatidylserine helps increase mental focus, promotes memory and cognition, it boosts the mood, and relieves stress through reduction of cortisol levels. So I do recommend using phosphatidylserine under professional supervision whenever possible. One of the reasons is dosage. You want to make sure that you're using the correct dosage for you to get results. And also there's a difference in phosphatidylserine, the composition of the supplements. I've mentioned that I take phosphatidylserine with an herbal extract, and I take that as a gummy, but I also sometimes take phosphatidylserine in capsule every morning, actually, right now. And what I want to tell you is I recently found out, I've always assumed that phosphatidylserine was extracted from soy, and I also believed it's been extracted through other means as well. I recently became aware that there are products on the market now where the PS or phosphatidylserine is extracted from safflower oil. And this is really good because a lot of people say that they're allergic to soy or believe they have a soy allergy. And in that case, consider other types of phosphatidylserine extraction, such as the safflower version.
Well, this concludes the Get Well Now podcast. For more information, please visit our website at getwellfoundation.org. Please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel to see more videos like this each week. And let us know what you think in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.